Hi, this presentation I put together, I wanted to show you how I put my business together. Um, I don't get on very well with A4 sheets of paper with lots of typed stuff on there and boxes and instructions and, some of those business plans that actually look more like you've written a biography. I wanted to keep it simple, and I'm a doodler. I'm one of those people that, much as I'm into my tech, I love having a piece of paper in front of me and some coloured pens and drawing it out. And I use this technique to help me set up and start my business. And I wanted to share with you how I did that and to share with you the doodles that I did. So this particular one is about marketing, and I was thinking, okay, how do I want to market my stuff? And the first thing I had to ask myself was, where are my people? Are you my people? I needed my people. Where were they? Were they on social media? Were they out in the streets? Were they attending meetings or meetups? Were they in social groups? Where were they? So I just jotted everything down that I could think of and squiggled around it, and then looked at how am I going to find them. And I did exactly the same thing, like with networks or masterclasses. And at this point, I literally just was scribbling on a piece of paper and doodling around them. And it's sometimes doing the doodling and using for me, it's colored pens. I love my color. That helps me to really look at and focus on where I'm going to go in the end. So this is how I start my marketing strategy, like this. And often I'll go back to it if things aren't working and do another bit of a doodle and try and work out, what's not working, maybe why isn't it, or should I just scrap it? So if you are more of a creative person, or even, I don't know, I'm not an artist. I doodle, I scribble, and for a long time I felt that was a little bit unprofessional. But at the end of the day, this is for me. And that's what we forget. The way we set up our business, the way we do our marketing, the way we portray ourselves, this bit, the scribbling and the trying to work it out, is for you. It's a personal thing. And I am sort of opening myself up and sharing with you the way I do it, and telling you that actually it can be as simple as this. And, and I use tech for everything. I have, platforms that help me automate everything I do in business. I'm not against tech. But when it comes to planning, I need a piece of paper and a coloured pen and be allowed to scribble and doodle. And this may just help you if you're not sure how you're going to get your idea off the ground. So let's have a look at what happens next. So this is the next stage for me. After I've scribbled everything that was in my head, I decided then I needed to sort of list everything and decide what I was going to do, what would work for me. So again, with my trusty notebook, you have no idea how many notebooks I buy or I am gifted. Love my notebooks. I started writing everything down, sort of a list with a little check thing to go, okay, what am I going to do? What sits well with me that I feel I can do? So obviously speaking is what I do. I'm a public speech coach, and I'm a competition winner, international TEDx, done all that. So speaking was big, so it gets a big smiley face, and I'm going to let you into a little secret. I love my stickers. So the sticker went on there. So that's fine. And then I was thinking about, I put on a lot of online courses. So the releasing a new course was very important to me. So yeah, I can do that. I can release new online courses. I've had in my head that I wanted to do this goal getter notebook, but workbook. But there's a lot of them around, and I'm not yet sure in my head how that would differentiate from anybody else. And actually, does it add added value to anybody? And at the moment, do I have the time to think about this? Okay. And one of the things I want to remind you of is I'm 3.5 years into my business. And I've always worked like this. If you're literally just starting, I cannot tell you how invaluable it was and is to just sit down and start looking at my business, not through a computer, but with pieces of paper. I have dry whiteboards. I have, the bit I like to scribble. I've got all sorts of, my husband can't believe how many different coloured pens I've got, but I love my coloured pens. One of the other things I needed to do was get more people on my email list. My email list is moderately low compared to some. It's in the sort of 500 mark. And I often talk to people who are talking about the 5,000 mark. I want an effective email list. I want an email list where people know me, they understand what I'm talking about, and they're more likely to open them. I don't need a list of 5,000 people if only 15 of them open the email. So one of the things for me is about how I get more people on my email list, and that's a tick. I need to set up a new lead generator, which will come in later coaching. Okay. Do a launch every 2 months was an interesting one, because again, that's about the online courses. And, could I do 2 launches every month? Well, I have enough content, and I love creating really easy, simple to follow online courses where you have access to me to do deeper dives into things that you don't quite understand. So yes, I wanted to do that. I wanted to make sure that everybody had the ability to learn something without breaking the bank. Trust me, when you've been online a little while, you realize just how much money you can chuck at stuff that gets you nowhere. Okay. Word of mouth and referrals. I didn't tick them. One, because actually most people who come to me are referrals, but to really effectively market that, you've got to pull up your big girl knickers and grab your confidence to ask people to do that. So that wasn't at this moment this year high on my list. So you'll see I haven't ticked word of mouth and referrals. I haven't ticked affiliate marketing. Video email I haven't ticked purely because of price, because I can put videos in my current email marketing platform, but there are sites that are specific using video, and they're a bit out of cost league at the moment. Gamification is one of those words that floats about, and I think, I don't even know what that truly means. It's something I'm going to learn about. I think I'm overthinking that one, but I'm going to pass that and pass the prizes one at the moment. Podcast is a big one for me this year, to set up my own podcast, and equally to be on other people's podcasts. You'd think as a speaker that I would have that all sorted, but during the last 2 years or so, I've been supporting other speakers, so haven't really put myself out there. So that's going to change. Blogging. I hate writing, but because I understand repurposing content, which is something else we will come on to, I can vlog, which is video blogging, and turn that into a written blog. So we will cover that in another training. Okay. A monthly masterclass. This I have been looking forward to doing for a year or so, and haven't really got round to organising it. And that's coming into that part big plan at the moment. So you'll see when we get on a little further in this presentation where I fitted those masterclasses in. Book. Again, I have a great friend of mine who is a book. She works with authors, marketing books, publishing books, that sort of thing. And she says to me all the time, write a book. I'm like, all that writing, write a book. However, pulling a lot of stuff I've done together, I have a book in the making. So that's why I put possible beside that, not tick the book. So I don't want to put that on my priorities just there. And the other possibilities are the joint ventures, putting myself up for awards. But when I put what makes me happy, I've already got to figure that one out. But this has helped me crunch down from my long list into things that I can think about now. Now it's not so overwhelming. I have the bits that I'm going to look at. And the next stage is, how do I make that work? How do I take now my checklist and the bits that I've decided I'm going to work on now into the next bit? So keep watching. Okay, so now we're into taking that bit and taking it to the next step for me. So I've got my checklist that I've ticked off my bits. So then it was about scribbling where my priorities were. And for me, one of the first things I had to do was say, okay, my mindset needs to be in the right place. It always needs to be in a place where you're positive, you're enjoying it, and you are seeking something from it, whether it be money, whether it be connections, whether it be confidence, whatever it may be. So for my first, number one was get my mindset straight. And I check in on that one quite often because it's very easy to go into that, oh, I can't do this, or everyone's doing it better. And we start comparing ourselves, and that's not going to help anybody. Number two was I realized while I was doing all my scribbling, I very rarely share my story with anybody unless I'm doing a keynote speech. So one of my priorities was, in order to connect and engage more and allow you to know who it is you're listening to and talking to and working with, was to share my story and to let you know more about who I am, how I think, what my values are, why I do what I do, all that sort of stuff. So number two is about sharing my story more. And then I realized that part of my value is being able to share what I do, is being able to help other people in business when they first start, really give them a lift, because actually we get sucked into spending not only hundreds, but thousands on courses and online gurus who don't give you the value you need. But more than that, I remember when I first started, I had no access to this sort of money to be able to get going. It just wasn't there. And sometimes these gurus that you're talking to forget that. And amount of times somebody has said to me, oh, so you don't want to invest in your own business? And it's like, well, yeah, but I'm not going to risk, losing the house or putting myself in more debt, or in my case, not actually at that point being able to access it because I'd just come out of a divorce. Everything was tight. I didn't. So for me, it was about low price programs, high quality, amazing value, but at a low price for people just starting out. So that was my number three. My number four was to simplify the software I used, because you end up with so many different platforms to do your email on, then you've got your social media, then you've got to think about a sales. And I wanted to simplify that because I'm not very good at the itty bitty stuff. I have sticky notes everywhere. So for me, it's, again, going back and looking at the software I use, simplifying it and finding all the freebies I can find that will make my life easier. Number five was providing workbooks for every coaching I do, because sometimes people just need that start. And my workbooks, I thought, would just be a help for people to scribble on, back to scribbling and doodling. Some people don't need that. They can, these aren't workbooks that I'm showing you here. These are just my scribbles. But some people I know like sort of a template to start with. So number five was about me putting those workbooks with the coaching I was doing. Number six, we're back to this book thing. Well, as I said in the last bit, I do have a book, but it needs sorting out. So that's sort of a bit down on the list, and I'll have a look at it. Number seven, I've got to find number seven now. Number seven was measure what works. For a couple of years, I didn't measure. I just did it and did stuff and hope for the best. I learned the hard way. you have to measure. You have to know what's working and what isn't. And again, there are easy ways to measure. You don't have to go through the complicated stuff. You don't have to have a new platform, and we will cover measuring and sort of looking and analyzing what works and what doesn't in another video. But get that in your head. Somewhere in there, you need to give yourself time to measure what works and what doesn't, and find a way that works for you. Okay. And 8 is, I so wanted to give stuff away. I really do love giving stuff away. And I like people to have the stuff that will help them move forward. I'm here for anyone who wants to be a professional speaker. I'm here for anybody who wants to dive a bit deeper into this on a one-to-one. But a lot of my stuff I'm giving away, or virtually giving away. The cost is so low that, you are able to get started, and you're able to just take a breath and not be so overwhelmed by everything, and take control of business your way and do it the way you want to do it. Otherwise, you're never going to enjoy it, and it's going to be a slog, because running your own business, I don't know anyone, no matter what they say, who became rich overnight online. And that might have happened in the early days, but we're in an area now where online is where everyone is, and it's very hard. So if you're not enjoying what you're doing, you're not going to last long. So that's what I'm saying to you. Okay. Give yourself a list of priorities to work with. They may change over time. Come back and do this again and again. But this is where I start with what am I going to do first? How am I going to grow my business from the list I've just made? Okay. Hope you're still with me on this and keeping up. What I will try to do is actually put some templates together for you for this, so you can just come into Canva and grab them. I like to know what I'm doing yearly. I like to actually plan them. Now, caveat on that comment, I don't always stick to it, which is why every 3 months I come back in and check what I've got on my yearly planner. When I'm looking at what works and what doesn't work, may make a difference to my yearly planner, but it gives me a starting point. It gives me something every month to go, right, I know what I'm doing. So my yearly planner literally is, again, piece of paper, colored pencils, pens, whatever, each month. And because I'm starting March, it's taken me a little while to get into this year. So I'm starting March this year and going around to February next year. I have decided on I've broken them down into sort of what I'm going to do. So March, I'll do events, I'll do a masterclass, videos, short courses, and I'm going to do that every month. Okay. Now, I put a topic into each month, and because I am a speaking coach, most of my topics will always include those things. Okay, and how you can use your voice to be seen and heard in marketing, all of that. So March this month is events. So we're going to look about events, whether you're attending events or doing your own events. How do you use events to help you? April is going to be about video. May is going to be about podcast. You may have other things that go in there, depending on your business, what your topics are going to be. And it may be that, you have one topic that you rinse and repeat every month. People do this in different ways. You might decide, in 1 month that you're going to do live streaming. Maybe you do demonstrations on how to, I don't know, set up things, or how to sew, or how to cook, whatever it may be. You will have figured that out from the previous sort of scribbles and marketing and things like that. So this bit you're looking at and just going, okay, what am I going to do each month? And within that, I also decided that I was going to set up these Monday morning magic, because I know that a lot of people I talk to sit in front of their computer on a Monday morning going, okay, the kids have gone to school. Where do I start? I've been running a deep dive Wednesday for the last probably 6 months or so, which I love. And we just pick a topic and deep dive into it. So that'll follow on from Monday. And then I'm putting in a Freaky Friday Fun, which is really about have we completed those goals or intentions we set ourselves on the Monday, and to let ourselves off the hook if we haven't, and to celebrate if we have. Okay. And then having this monthly master course on things which will be a bit deeper than the general marketing stuff. And you can decide how that's going to work. So that's how I do my yearly plan. 2 minutes, done. Think about it and see if you can do your marketing that way and make yourself less overwhelmed, less stressed, and actually more enjoy business planning. Let's face it, business planning is dry. Get creative with it. Okay, so once you've sorted out what you're going to do and when you're going to do it, you also have to figure out how you're going to tell people. And this is what they call a sales funnel. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on this because that's a whole training, coaching of its own. I just wanted to show you the one I use. I use it now because, again, I've found some amazing people online who freely give away information. So for me, it's about getting a message out, which is what they call a lead generator, where you pique people's interest and you want them to come and find out about you. For me, I want them to book a call with me so I can chat to them about the various things, whether it's which online courses they should take, or whether they want to work with me one-to-one, whether I want to work with them, all of that. And then I can set up an email campaign. We'll come on to that another time. This page and this particular part of this presentation is probably got you just scratching your heads going, what? If you're a little bit in like me and you're sort of refocusing, this is where I have reset my email marketing campaigns, how I'm getting people to a call, what's happening afterwards, and which lead generators I'm using, landing pages, sales pages, checkouts, thank yous, all of that. I recognize for those of you that are very, very new to this and just beginning, you may not even be trading yet. This page is going to make you go, oh, what? We will go through this page in a different coaching bit by bit to explain how you set up a really simple, easy sales funnel. Okay. And you don't have to have a website to do it. You don't have to, as yet, have an email campaign going. You may just want to use social media, but we will look at this in detail another time. I just wanted you to see how my process was working as I've gone through, prioritized, decided what I'm doing and what the next stage. So for me, the next stage is setting up these funnels for each thing or each service or each product that I'm using and selling and sharing. So please shut your eyes and move on if you're not ready for this. But if not, you might want to just contact me. And if you can't find what you need to know about sales funnels, let's have a chat. Okay. No selling, just a strategy chat. Okay. Let's move on.